In this, the third video of our discussion of insurer functions, we'll discuss claims management. Let's first look at responsibilities of claims management. First, ascertaining the validity of written proofs of loss. Nearly always, an insured has to give a written proof of loss when they have a loss that they want to make a claim on. Investigating the scene of loss. This is especially true in auto insurance accidents. Estimating the amount, which is of course a big part of what claims adjusters do. Interpreting and applying the terms of the policy in loss situations. Part of the claims adjuster's job is sometimes to determine whether or not there is coverage at all, or if something about the loss is excluded in the policy. And approving payment of the claim. Let's look at the difference between life and property insurance claims. First of all, life insurance claims, as I said before, are pretty easy. It's the underwriting side of life insurance that's complex. But the claim side of life insurance is basically producing a death certificate on the insured. And there's not any partial losses or usually any question about whether or not the insured is alive. Claims is more extensive in property insurance because, in part, there's a higher frequency of losses. Insureds only die once, but you might have multiple losses related to a home. Also, a predominance of partial losses. As I mentioned, in life insurance, when the insured dies, the face amount of the policy is paid. But in property insurance, the insurer promises to replace or repair property. So how much it costs to either replace or repair must be determined. Similarly, there might be uncertainty of the amount of loss in individual cases. Technology is actually having a big impact on property claims adjusting. Drones and satellites that, for example, take images where losses have occurred so that the property claims adjuster doesn't have to actually go to the scene. In claims management, employees are typically referred to as adjusters, loss adjusters, or claims adjusters. So first there are company adjusters, also known as staff adjusters, that actually work for the company. So Progressive Insurance Adjuster or a State Farm Insurance Adjuster. They're salaried staff employees of the insurer. Then there are independent adjusters. Companies often use independent adjusters in territories where an insurer does not have a sufficient volume of business to employ a staff adjuster, so in rural areas, like many parts of Louisiana. Independent adjusting firms can be very, very large, or they can be quite small. Companies use independent adjusters also sometimes when there's a special skill required, such as maybe adjusting a certain type of liability claim or aviation-related claim. Also, catastrophe adjusters are independent adjusters most of the time. Public adjusters. They specialize in adjusting functions, but they represent policyholders, so they're actually employed by the policyholders when the policyholder doesn't agree with the company adjuster or independent adjuster's claim amount. Then there's risk management and loss control. It's usually in the best interest of the insurance company to keep losses down and to manage losses. If losses get out of hand, they'll have to raise premiums and they may lose the business altogether. So in large insurance and brokerage organizations, risk managers are typically very involved in the process. For example, in workers' compensation, usually the insurance company comes out to the place of employment and does a safety check and may make many recommendations on how to make the workplace environment safer. And then there are lawyers and investigators. Insurers often employ these, or they might hire them on specific cases. So many insurers have legal departments to defend their insureds on certain claims, or they might just hire outside counsel. Some insurers have SIUs, or special investigation units, that will investigate fraud claims, or sometimes whether or not their insured is liable. Many times, though, if they suspect fraud, they'll hire outside investigators.